Citrus season is in full swing down here in Australia right now, and that means a lot of distilleries are lining up some limited releases for this year. We're going to be tasting one of those. We've got the Mandarin Gin from Ambleside Distillers. We're going to give it a review, and we're starting right now. G'day folks, my name's Tim and welcome to Tim and Tonic, where we discover the world's best gins and how to drink them. So I'm getting in a little bit early with the Ambleside Mandarin Gin. It was only released about a week ago, the 2021 edition, but I had a little bit of FOMO last year. I missed out on the first version, so here we are. Now, from what I can gather on the label here, we're dealing with a gin that is both distilled with mandarin peel, but also infused with it after the distillation process too. So I don't know if you can see it from over there, but there's actually a little bit of color to this one coming from that infusion after the distillation. Obviously the mandarin is the hero botanical here, but they're pretty transparent about everything else that goes into this gin. They list most of them on the label here. So first up we've got juniper. Obviously it's a gin, so it has to have juniper. Then that's carefully balanced with elderberries, kumquat, vanilla, cacao, atherton nut. Oh, atherton nut's an interesting one. For those that you don't know, it actually comes from a kind of like an oak tree that's native to Australia, and it's this little bright blue nut with a seed inside. It's absolutely incredibly interesting. On top of that, we've got some almond, cassia, cinnamon, and licorice root. So a good mix of fruity, citrus, and spice. Let's give this one a crack and see what it's all about. I've only just poured this one and I can smell the mandarin already. I probably don't need to get much closer, but let's give it a smell anyway. Okay, so when they said mandarin, they weren't kidding. We're definitely into flavored gin territory here, with the mandarin absolutely being the strongest thing I can smell. What's really amazing is the way they've captured that mandarin. You know, a lot of the time when people use citrus, it has that more rich marmalade kind of smell, but that is not the case here at all. It's super fresh, it's super juicy. It's literally like you just peeled a mandarin. It's so aromatic, it's absolutely insane. Obviously the mandarin is the star of the show here, but you kind of expected that. There is a little bit of other fruity notes going on and some subtle juniper too. Before we get onto the tasting, if you're loving the Ambleside Mandarin Gin so far, hit the like button now and let me know down in the comments what you think. I really hope this one tastes as good as it smells. Wow, same again. I'm absolutely blown away by the way they've captured the freshness of this mandarin. It's definitely a flavor explosion. On the taste, it's much more well balanced. Absolutely, the mandarin is still the strongest flavor here, but there's some more complexity coming through. The juniper's a little bit more present, kind of gives this woody rosemary stems kind of vibe, which is really nice. Plus there's a little bit of earthy spice too, which just adds those layers of complexity. Overall, drinking this one neat is super easy. I mean, it is only 40% ABV, so it's not one of those higher strength gins that you'll come across, so that does help a little bit. But the other thing I like that is, even if it's a flavored gin, it's still super dry. It's not sweet at all. There's really no added sugars here from what I can tell. And I really do love this approach to flavored gins because it just makes them so much more versatile. If you don't have that sweet tooth, you're not stuck with the sugary cloying sensation, but if you want to mix it, you can add in the extra sugar if you do have a sweet tooth. I guess that's the perfect time to talk about how I would drink Ambleside Mandarin Gin. Now, I did find that with some more classic Indian style tonics, the kind of bitterness from that did kind of remind me of the really bitter mandarin peel. So I wasn't too much of a fan of that. If you want something more classic, I really enjoyed this one with Mediterranean tonic, but there are some great other brands of tonic that work really well too, like Longrays and Strangelove from right here in Australia. But other than that, I found it pretty versatile. Like, it worked great with elderflower tonic, worked great with aromatic tonic, and even if you wanted to go for something like ginger ale or soda water, I can really see it working there too. As for garnish, I've said it many times before, I'm a big fan of adding complexity to your drink. So just because this is a citrus gin doesn't necessarily mean you should add a citrus garnish. If you do, it kind of makes it a little bit one-dimensional and not that interesting. With the Mandarin Gin, I would really suggest giving something herbaceous a go, like rosemary or thyme is absolutely delicious. Or even if you want to do something spiced, some fresh ginger will work amazingly well with this flavor profile as well. Cocktail-wise, it may sound a little bit contradictory to what I said, but hear me out here. I really like this one in sour style cocktails, so your gin sours, your Tom Collins, your French 75s. anything with that kind of lemon and sugar balance, I really find that that absolutely takes the mandarin notes to another level. I wouldn't really go for any cocktails with more citrus or fruity notes than that. If you want to try something a little bit more interesting, find one with a herbaceous or a spice note. It's going to work really well and bring out those more subtle botanicals. So guys, here we are, the final verdict on Ambleside's Mandarin Gin. Now, all the points you need to know, it comes in at $85 for a 700ml bottle and it's 40% alcohol. Now that does sound like quite a bit of money, but when you compare this to other gins, it's really not that much of a step up price-wise, and this is a limited edition. There's probably only a few hundred bottles made. I don't know, it doesn't say on the label here, but my bottle is number 26. It doesn't say out of how many, so there can't be too many bottles though. Flavor-wise though, no arguments from me here. It's absolutely delicious. But if you're expecting a juniper forward gin, remember this is a contemporary flavored gin. It's not going to be that at all. If you want something like that, I would still recommend checking out Ambleside Distillers, but try their big dry gin. That might be right up your alley. But limited edition, spring, coming into summer gin, I absolutely love this one. So guys, if you like this review and you want to discover more amazing gin just like this one, start right now by clicking subscribe just up here so you don't miss out on any new reviews as they come out on the channel. In the meantime, click through the playlist here and you can see all the gins that I've already reviewed. Until next time guys, I hope you enjoyed the Ambleside Mandarin Gin. Cheers.